Hey, welcome back everybody. This is the Leon the Non-Professional channel. And by non-professional, that's literally what it is. Today we're going to talk about the channel itself and where it originated and where it's going. And for most of you watching this is probably the first video of mine you're watching. The reason for that is that if you're watching this, I probably have known you for like 20 years and I sent you the text message with this link. My regular viewers, I'm not really expecting you to watch this. I understand that this is not what YouTube or Rumble particularly likes. This video is going to be long, might be a little boring. You'll probably learn a little bit too much about me, and I'm not really going to talk much about guns or shooting or anything like that necessarily. We're just going to talk about the channel and myself, I suppose, and where we're going to go with that. So first of all, I took some time off, okay? A little bit of time, not much, but I recorded a bunch of videos up through Christmas, up before Christmas, and then I really haven't done much at all from Christmas until now, except for like scheduled videos popped up and things like that, right? One of the reasons I took the time off is that I got married. So yes, there we go. It's legit, official, got married. Happy to be married to this wonderful woman who is not on camera, okay? But it was a good decision, simple. On that note, I want to point out that getting married is probably a good decision for most people. Not everyone, okay, and marry the right person and all that type of thing, but if you are getting married, then you probably have more, there's a deeper connection, hopefully, and there's more reasons to make wise choices and to further your life, to bring your life in a positive, take your life in a positive direction, something like that. Okay, you did not tune in to me to hear marriage advice, but I'm just suggesting that it's probably a good idea, if it's the right person. So let's talk about the channel a little bit. So Leon the Non-Professional. Well, first of all, the obvious part is that I'm not a professional, right? Non-professional. Yes, I switch camera angles sometimes. Okay, that's kind of cool. Hopefully my audio sounds okay. It doesn't make me a professional. It just means I copy other people well, right? But especially the things I'm talking about are from a non-professional standpoint. Plenty of my videos, you'll see me trying to do shooting drills in which I am probably the very slowest one that posts any of these drills, okay, for example. And the videos that you see of me doing these drills are me learning it and the progress, and hopefully you pick up something or at least entertained as I stumble through and learn something in the process, hopefully. Also, my insight into firearms is just based on my experience, which is fairly limited when you think about the gun tube or YouTube gun tubosphere. I don't know, right? But also, Leon the Non-Professional as a channel is sort of based on Leon, not based on, but I got the name from Leon the Professional. So you can see right here, this DVD, yes, DVDs still exist, at least in my home. And I don't think I have a DVD player. This DVD, Leon the Professional, was a cool movie from 1994, I believe. Had Jean Reno, had Gary Oldman, and Natalie Portman, and a few other people. Cool movie for a variety of reasons. But I did not choose the name of this channel based on just the movie. Part of it, like I said, because I'm non-professional, but also my middle name, one of my middle names is Leon. So maybe you can see behind me here, that is a picture of my great-grandpa Leon. I was not too many years old when he passed, and so I don't know. He didn't directly influence my life in a massive way, but he has kind of been a small influence in a few ways, right? And even just having his middle name was interesting. Lastly, you just have to name your channel something, and the concept of having a non-professional approach to things, hopefully not non-traditional necessarily. I'm not trying to reinvent anything, but just a non-professional approach, fixing things or stumbling upon problems and fixing them in non-professional way is sort of the concept. So while we started this channel, if you're watching, you're part of the channel, think of it that way. A lot of the content is about firearms. I like firearms. Other people like firearms. I mean, it's a fun thing to post about, and it's enjoyable. Okay, it's simple. But that's not the only thing I wanted to share on this channel. So going forward, well, we'll get to that later. We'll talk about what else is going to happen with the channel. But non-professional, it's not necessarily the non-professional gun guy. It is intended to be non-professional whatever I stumble across and decide to do, to talk about, to film, to whatever that is. So I think the last important aspect of this channel is that I value educating. I have enjoyed showing people, teaching people, enlightening, hopefully just a facilitator of knowledge is kind of probably the best way I want to describe that. I've done that in the past. I've enjoyed that for a lot of reasons, and I want to keep doing that. I've had people support me and encourage me in that way. A few people at work, a few family members, but especially my wife, my now wife, has been encouraging me for a while on this, and I really value that now I can do the thing that I feel I'm okay at, or at least that I enjoy doing. Doesn't mean I'm great at it, but it is kind of the point of this channel, is that I can express myself in the manner in which might educate people, and in the process, I'm also learning. If I'm going to, even just in those videos where I'm doing a drill, right? I'm learning right there. So if I'm sharing some bit of wisdom or what not to do just because of what I learned at the moment, by default, or almost, you have to, I have to learn something to share it with you, or I have to already know something to share something meaningful. So that's kind of one of the last aspects about this channel and why it has occurred. So let's keep moving here. Now, if you set out to do something and you want to succeed at it, you need to define what success will look like. So what does the success of a YouTube channel look like, at least for me? Well, a few different things. For one, just getting out there and doing it, getting started, putting something out there is a success. If you intend to do something, if you dream or whatever, want to go do something and you do it, you succeeded. If that was your intent, then you succeeded. There are lots of people, maybe people watching this, who are interested in filming, posting videos, podcasting, whatever that is. And I understand very much so the challenge of getting everything ready, getting things rolling. Okay, what do I need to set up ahead of time to do this? How will I prepare myself to move forward? When will I know now is the time to launch, when to pull the trigger on this? And that can be a challenge. It can be a big deal. And so when you have determined that time is right and you do it, you have, well, succeeded, right? But moving forward, once you start a channel, as I have, okay, I want it to be something I'm proud of. It doesn't mean that everything is perfect, but I want to be able to look back at this and it be satisfying and rewarding to me. Now, I've said for a long time is that I want to make decisions, especially when as far as my personal life or my children or something, a big deal. I want to make the decision now that I will be proud of 5 years from now. Okay, that's just kind of a way to look at things. 5, 10, 20 years ago, whatever it is from now, whatever. And so same thing with a YouTube channel. Do something that you're already proud of. And so don't half-ass things, but you have to find a balance there and recognize it will not be perfect. You will be getting better, hopefully, at what you're doing. And I'm just, at the moment, so far, I'm really, really enjoying this. It's something that I am proud of. Now, a lot of people do not know this about me. If you're a friend of mine and I text you, right? If you've known me for a long time, you probably know that I podcasted. I used to be a podcaster. Started in about 2010 through about 2017, roughly. And I podcasted about Microsoft Windows Phone. Now, you probably do not remember or did not think of Windows Phone for the past 10 years or whatever it is, right? But it was really interesting to me. It was something I was passionate about. I enjoyed the product itself, and then I found myself deeply in that ecosystem, for lack of a better term. And I started talking about it. I started talking about it with other people. And pretty soon we had a small and rabid following. I was leading 3 different podcasts in succession. They weren't all necessarily at the same time. And it was really, really rewarding. It was fun. It was not, like, how do you define success? I did not earn money, I should say. I did not earn a profit on this. Occasionally I would get some revenue from it, very little. And I was able to go visit places. Microsoft actually brought me out for a few different media events, for lack of a better term. Had a press pass for some things, and that was cool. I also had listeners of the channel send me stuff, and Microsoft sent me some stuff. It was very cool. It was nice. It most definitely did not net me profit. Okay, think of it that way, just to be clear. And, I don't really have many of those friends anymore. That isn't wrong. It isn't a problem. But like the people that were listening to me were not they were not that close to me. I understand how that works. And that's where I'm going with this, is that what you're doing should be meaningful. I found podcasting to be very meaningful for me, and it helped me learn that my words had meaning. When I talked about something, people listened, at least a little bit, right? And so they felt that it sounds so strange even saying out loud, they felt that I was an expert about things. And so if I recommended something, or if I encouraged people to do one thing or the other, or even just entertaining them, my words had meaning. And so that was kind of an awakening, or that was eye-opening for me. So imagine parents, many of you might be parents. Imagine if a child of yours listened and obeyed, for lack of a better term, to everything you said. If you told them to do a thing, they did it without question, without fail. They did everything you said. If you said, Sonny boy, when you turn 16, you should buy a blue car instead of a red one. And if they just did it, well, okay, probably nothing lost. But imagine if you said something, they followed it, and it was not the best choice. Now, we have to live with some of our poor choices throughout life, and that's life. But what I'm getting at is that knowing that my words had meaning, even a little bit of meaning, knowing that has helped me make better choices in life, really, I believe. And so circling all back to podcasting, I learned that little truth in life, and it's helped me since then. Now, I don't expect people watching this to take my word as gospel, and if I say Smith & Wesson M&P guns are the best ones and you should all spend blah blah to get this gun, yada yada, and your life will be better. Don't, you know better than that, right? But the reason I even bring that up again is that this channel, me saying things, makes me reassess what I'm saying, how I feel, what I feel about things, and helps me take a better stance on things, hopefully, and to know that my presence in this world has meaning. Maybe that's a little bit too philosophical in some cases, but that's just kind of, I don't know what else to say. That's what I'm feeling in this video. So, yeah. So does that mean this is a successful channel? Well, if it means that no one's listening, but I'm saying things I truly believe, well, then I think that probably is a success. Another way for this channel to be a success would be to get views. Well, kind of. Now, watching this, now you know what time it is when you watch this. I know when I'm recording it, but you're watching the past me, and you are the future you, okay? Meaning, I don't know what the future holds, but I know where I'm at right now. And so as far as views, getting views, okay? I'm posting things on Rumble. I'm also posting them on YouTube. Rumble is having, a few dozen views per video, and I'm not dissatisfied with that. Even just a month ago, or a little more than that, YouTube, I had no videos that had broken 250 views. And then I did have one that did well. I was happy with that. And then since then, I had, now I've had maybe 3 that have broke 1,000. A couple of those being shorts, that doesn't really count that much. But there's videos I feel pretty good about. 1,000 views is simultaneously nothing, figuratively nothing, and also figuratively everything. I don't want to overplay my value. Okay, that's not the point of this. But I take it seriously because I think that if I had 20 of my friends in this room with me right now, and they all were watching me and listening to what I said, I would have reasonable influence. Back to the meaning of things. I want to say meaningful things so we can add to the meaning of life, right? So having 1,000 views, or really even only just a couple hundred views, right? I take that seriously because that could be 250 people in this room listening to what I'm saying, or not particularly listening. I understand that. But that's meaningful to me. And so if I do not get much more, then, well, whatever. I'm not drawing a line. I'm not seeking the views. What I am seeking is growth, I suppose. Another way that I will define success with this is having conversations. Part of YouTube or whatever videos are watching, but also the comments. I enjoy the comments, conversations there. They're not particularly mind-blowing, for lack of a better term, but that's rewarding to me to see if I have a challenge, a struggle through a video on one particular thing or another, and someone comments saying, hey, here, buddy, this could help you. Well, that's in a selfish way, that is helping me. That is success. I'm improving because of crowdsourcing, basically. What else would define success? Well, what if me doing this channel got me free stuff? And again, I mentioned that a little bit with the podcast. I understand that gun tubers get guns sent to them or gear or whatever, okay? I'm not saying that would not appeal to me, but it really isn't necessarily where I'm going with this. And again, it will be very interesting to go back and watch this years from now to see where I am from that point back to here. So I don't really know where that's going to go, but if you get a free holster, that means you probably also need to buy a belt and mag carriers and whatever to support that holster, right? So what about earning money? Now, YouTube is one place people can earn money. Well, I've basically ruled that out. I'm not going to earn any money from YouTube ads. That's for sure, okay? Firearms content is notoriously unmonetized, okay? We'll just go with that. Now, there's also private, there's sponsors that can help you with that. That is interesting to me. I'm not really looking for worldwide or, like nationwide sponsors or something like that. If anything, and we'll get to it a little bit later, like where I want my focus to be, something local could actually be interesting, even though that does directly conflict with the, like the YouTube business model, okay? The next way that I could succeed with YouTube would be that I develop a local community, a network nearby. Online content is not necessarily good for that, but that is something that I would like to achieve long term, is know more people in my community, people who are like-minded and could work together when working together is really important. Just go with that, right? I did mention it earlier. Another success of the channel would be if I am able to educate others, and especially to educate myself. If I continue to learn things as I'm doing this channel, I would consider that a success. And lastly, success breeds success. And so I do feel encouraged. I enjoy it when people watch my stuff and comment. I feel good about what I created. not just the thing by itself, but I value what it has created or the response that I'm getting from that. That's human nature. I will admit that I need to work on toning that down, I suppose, so that I'm not so driven by the numbers. But I'll just say that it does help me. If you watch this, if you like, subscribe, comment, hit the notification button. I can't believe I just said that. It's probably the only time you'll hear me in any of my videos saying this. But when people do that, I do find it rewarding, and it can help encourage me to do more, really. So, all right, let's see, next page here. What can you expect for the future of this channel? Let's talk about that. As I mentioned, the future, you already know some of the future that I don't, right? Again, I don't know when you're watching this, but it will be after I film this. So some of that has occurred. I don't really know what I'm going to be doing, but I have a few ideas. I have a few things that would be rewarding to me that I want to try to do. I acknowledge, I admit, right, that I will probably continue to fanboy over the M&Ps. Smith & Wesson M&P guns are what I enjoy. That's simple, okay? And I will probably keep doing that. Even if I don't buy a lot of them, I might keep talking about the same ones. I don't know, whatever. I probably will still do that. So if you have an aversion against M&Ps, you're probably watching the wrong channel. I don't know what else to say about that. So I will continue to talk about other weird little specific guns that I have. So if you're looking here, I got a couple guns right here. I don't know which one I have. I've got a Shield Plus, and I've got that 40 Smith & Wesson M&P. And I'll probably keep talking about specific niche guns. Not that they are particularly special in the grand scheme of things, but things that are kind of special to me, or at least just interesting. I probably will continue talking about them in the non-professional perspective, and really just show their own interest and uniqueness to me. I don't really have a great perspective to contrast them with everything else, okay? That's probably what you're going to see, more of these one-offs of interesting little guns, right? Or maybe not even that interesting guns. You can continue to see me explore defensive concepts. Defensive concepts such as CCW, open carry, home defense, and then the exercising of 2A rights, which would be a broad and in some ways kind of a polarizing discussion, a polarizing topic. Not everyone feels the same way about our gun rights as I do, obviously, and my opinion might not line up with yours, and you may be offended by it a little bit, but I'll keep talking about that here and there at least without really trying to push a narrative, just my perspective on it, okay? So you're also going to see a lot of range stuff. The first few months here, I've really enjoyed the range strips I've had, the filming I've done, the creation of that content has been really, really fun. And I'll continue to do that, especially outdoor range trips. Yes, there will be indoor range trips. I just don't have as much fun shooting indoors, for one. Filming indoors is going to be a little bit tougher anyway, and it might not even be that interesting for the viewer, but you'll probably see some of that, okay? Hopefully you're going to see more armory videos. Now, I don't think I've posted any videos that show my armory yet. And by my armory, yeah, it's a dedicated room that I call the armory. It is nothing fantastic or special. It's cool in the way that I like it, okay? And with time, I'm going to keep developing that, and we'll probably film some other things in the armory. Some of those things might include some reloading. I do make ammunition, right? I reload. I put together a ton of AR-15s. That is not complex, but it's fun. It's like Legos for me. And for those of you who don't know, it's that will probably be a fun thing to watch if you've never seen that before. But those of you who are into ARs, I'm not going to teach you anything that you probably don't already know as far as putting together an AR-15, okay? Just a little bit of snippets of perspective, okay? And then also filming in the armory, I probably will hopefully do some maintenance of handguns, even just some cleaning of them or how to take them down or possibly replacing strikers, little things like that. Now that all depends on how much YouTube will allow that. It's interesting. I do have a Facebook channel for the channel, Facebook page, I guess. Facebook page for the channel, and it's already got, I don't know if demonetized is the right word. It has gotten unshareable or something because of some YouTube videos that I posted, or, links to the video I posted to Facebook. So I don't really know how far that's going to go on Facebook. I definitely don't know how far YouTube is going to allow or promote or whatever it is, not to give me strikes if I'm taking apart guns and showing reassembly or whatever. I don't know where those rules are. But with that being in mind, I encourage you to check out the Rumble channel, which same name, right? And all that stuff will be there. Okay. What else? I believe I'm going to keep talking more about general preparedness. Now, I don't really like the word prepping. I think it's a little bit triggering for some people, but preparedness, that's what I want to be more prepared. Again, these aren't things that I'm amazing at. These are things that I'm lacking in, and hopefully as I improve, as I grow and I develop my skills or experience or sometimes just raw materials, as I get those things and do that, hopefully you will enjoy the journey that I can share along the way. Now, this channel does seem very much firearms related, but one of the things I want to include in that is just general house projects. I like my new house. I'm going to keep working on it and fixing things up and modifying things and whatever. And I want to post more of that too. I think that's interesting. And in some ways, it's kind of, that can be encouraging for me to do those projects if I'm making a video about it, right? What you will definitely see more of will be my wife. She's going to be on here with me. I'm excited for that. She doesn't want to do a ton of stuff, and we'll just see how all of that develops, right? Maybe you won't see a ton of her, but you've probably, if you're a long-time watcher, long-time viewer, all 50-some subscribers, kind of silly, you probably saw her in and out of a few camera shots, and she'll be in more of these, I'm sure. And you will definitely see more of my children. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, up until now, my kids were not on here. Now, I had a couple videos on Rumble, which did include my kids. And so we will see how that goes. But both of my younger children, really do enjoy firearms. And so we'll do some of that training and education and drills and stuff like that with them in the summer. We're not going to do so much of it right now. And maybe I'll even include my oldest daughter and her fiance, maybe husband by the time you watch this, as they spend time with us at the range as well. Also, my wife, she has children of her own, and maybe we'll see them in part of it. I'm not trying to turn this into a kids channel, but I want it to be family friendly. I want this to be rewarding and educational. So again, from my non-professional perspective, my point of view on things, as I learn and I hopefully can share some of those things with you, I am not trying to go viral, not trying to break the internet or anything like that. I really, when it boils down to it, I really just want to make something that I'm proud of. So I think that's probably a good place to end it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Thanks for clicking this and watching, especially if you went through the whole way. And stick around for more content that's probably a bit more exciting than this. That's it for now.